They were my first real success as a playwright. We played them at the Rose Theater, and there we were able to recreate that sense of turmoil and change and struggle that we now know as the War of the Roses between the Yorks and the Lancasters over the English crown. With that success under my belt, I did go on to write the comedies, and the boys' parts grew. Now, in my first comedy, The Comedy of Errors, which I'm charmed to hear your company is to play here for you this summer, I did not have that many opportunities, since what I had done in that play was take an old play by Plautus that was so popular, the Monogamy. And it was about two twins who got raised separately and confused. One of my favorite plot devices, by the way. I will use it many times in many of my plays. But as a young playwright, I was looking for some way to add my own energy to it. And so if Plautus could do it with one set of twins, I decided to do it with two. And that major dramatic and comic invention in that play. Not the women's parts, but two male servants and their two masters, who were the two sets of twins confused. But the next success I had as a comedy became one of our most popular comedies that we would play from time to uproarious audiences, and often some fighting amongst the crowd. That is, of course, The Taming of the Shrew. Now, I mention that tonight because I want to recall for you, if I may, my experience as that boy actor. Unfortunately, when I was a boy, I did not have the opportunity to play Kate. Now, let me set the scene for you. Kate is the shrew. Shrews and plays about them had been going on from early in the Middle Ages, so there was nothing new about the dramatic situation I was choosing now again to dramatize. So again, I was looking for something to do. In our company, we always tried to make sure we had short boys and tall boys to play various roles. For we had learned through many comic maneuvers that as simple a thing as that can set up all sorts of physical comedy. And it was with that I decided to play in my comedy. And therefore we picked the tallest boy actor we had to play Kate. Now you may therefore understand why Bianca was played by the shortest boy in our company. Here they were on stage at the beginning of our play. It was easy to understand how Kate could dominate Bianca, the silent good one, and therefore was shrew by her father and all the suitors who came, and threatened them all with physical punishment, because many of the men actors who were playing the other roles, of course, were towered over by my boy actor playing the Kate. Then Petruchio arrives. Petruchio is played by Richard Burbage. He was the leading actor in our company, and he loved to play both comic and the great tragic roles as they emerged as we worked together. Here he was, towered over by the Kate. Now imagine how it goes throughout all the taming. And as he comes to that final scene, where by this time he and Kate have on the road back to Padua to finally the marriage feast, which he had snatched her away from 2 acts earlier. Here he says to her, to win a wager with the other men, tell these other women how they should behave. Many people have asked me in this play, why Kate, who now is tamed, have the longest speech in the play at the moment of climax, and the play is over? Let me show you a little of how we staged it. Imagine Petruchio to this side, imagine the women to this side, and the other men arrayed behind me. We are, as Paul, in a wooden O with people gathered much like you around the players. Petruchio, I say she shall first begin with her. First, fie, unknit thy threatening unkind brow, and dart not scornful glances from those eyes, to wound thy lord, thy king, thy governor. It blots thy beauty as frost to bite the meads, confounds thy famous whirlwinds shake fair buds, and in no sense is meet our amiable. Petruchio moves to speak. Ah, muddy, ill-seeming, thick, bereft of beauty, and while so none or dry or thirsty, and will deign to simper touch one drop of it, thy husband is thy keeper, is thy lord. Ah, and for thy maintenance commits his body to painful labor, both by sea and land, to watch the night in storms, the day in cold, whilst thou art warm at home, secure and safe, and craves no other tribute at thy hands but love, fair looks, and true obedience. He tries to speak again. Too little payment for so great a debt. Such duty as the subject owes the prince, even a woman oweth her husband. And when she is forward, peevish, sullen, sour, and not obedient to his honest will, what is she but a foul, continuing rebel, and a graceless traitor to her loving lord? I am ashamed that women are so simple to offer war where they should kneel for peace, or seek for rule, supremacy, and sway when they are bound to serve, to love, obey. Why are our bodies soft and weak? Unapt to toil and trouble in the world, but that our soft conditions and our hearts should well agree with our external parts. Come, you forward and unabled worms. My mind has been as big as one of yours. My heart is great. My reason happily more. To bandy word for word and frown for frown. But now I see our lances are but straws. Our strength as weak. Our weakness past compare. That seeming to be most which we at least are. Then veil your stomachs, for it is no boot, and place your hands below your husband.